Hey guys, come back to the tree line. About 30 yards in, I got your buck.
Okay, as we get Diesel started on this week's track, the youth hunter shot this deer in the T intersection of two fence rows. You can see it's taller vegetation here a little bit. Diesel automatically picks out the line, and he's rocking and rolling already. The hunter actually saw the deer bed from the tree stand after he shot. He stayed in the tree a couple hours. The deer bedded in this grass. He thought he knew where the deer bedded, but when he got down a couple hours later, the deer wasn't there. So they tracked for a little bit, I believe, up this edge, and they didn't want to disturb the track anymore because blood was very, very spotty, and they called me. So we arrived the next day.
Whoa, Diesel.
Diesel's going to make his way out of this brushy tree line into this open cut cornfield. Very interesting behavior here. You'll notice Diesel working in a small zigzag pattern, left, right, left, right. I am marking a little bit of blood up this edge on the corn stalks. What's happening here is what we refer to as bracketing. Dogs like to be on the edges of scent. They don't like to necessarily be in the middle of the scent cone because they don't necessarily know where it goes, or that's what we think, right? So if he knows where the right edge is and he knows where the left edge is, he can bounce back and forth in between and find his way. Very similar to going down a dark hallway. You would navigate with your hands on the walls, bouncing off the left, the right, to make sure that you're in the center of the hallway. Instead of doing it with our hands, he's doing it with his nose. He likes to be on the edges of scent. So you'll see him go out in the cornfield, go into this brush. Go out in the cornfield, go into the brush. And the heavy brush forms a wall and holds that scent. The scent is not going to last as long in the cornfield as it does and as it will hang in that heavy cover. So that's why he spends more time there.
Stay there for 1 sec. Come on.
We continue up this edge for roughly 800 or 900 yards. This deer is going an awful long way, which tells me that he probably was pushed by the hunter getting out of the tree stand. I'm not going to bore you to death watching the entire thing, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. In this faster video, you can really see the zigzag pattern and where the edge of that scent is and how he's working it. All right, this deer exits the edge of the cornfield and finally commits to going into this brush line. We continue up this brush line for another I would guess 500 or 600 or 700 yards. This deer is going an awful long way. And you will notice a change in Diesel's tracking behavior and his body behavior because the scent is changing in this heavy brush. Remember, he was on the edges of scent in the open field. Now that he's in this brush and committed in this thicker brush, you'll see a much more straight line tracking approach because the scent is more concentrated.
Easy.
At this point, I'm really starting to believe that this deer is actually dead. A lot of times, hunters ask me, what do you mean your dog is telling you that this deer is dead? This is how he's doing it. Diesel is not deviating from this line. He's maintaining focus. He's moving forward. He's moving with purpose. He's got that little hip roll that I'm looking for. He is on a march. And that generally means that he really likes what he's smelling and that he really thinks this deer is dead. And he's doing that because he probably knows at this point in time that there's a high likelihood that he's going to be able to pull some hair on this deer. So that's what he gets excited about, and that's why he maintains focus, because he knows he's probably going to get a reward. We're going to continue up this brushy tree line on the edge of the standing corn for several hundred more yards. I do mark one spot of blood, I believe, along the way. When we get to the standing bean field, that's when the deer takes a right and goes up that edge. But I'm not going to bore you with all this straight line tracking, so I'm going to speed this part up too.
Diesel, wait. 1 second, talk to the dog. Diesel, wait. Wait. Diesel, wait.
Blood.
Here's a tip for newer handlers. This is the first spot of blood that I've seen since around the start when we first entered the cut cornfield. This is a great time to make sure that you stop and take the time to mark the spot in case the dog loses the line and you have to restart. This is a positive mark where you can come back and restart him and you know exactly where the line is.
Blood. Did you see the blood back there?
This is where things get very interesting. Diesel overshoots the turn here, as he can sometimes do. I call him hot shot when he does this. He was on a roll, marking easy scent, and that deer actually took a right down this field edge, and he missed it. Diesel being a left-handed dog, meaning he's going to circle left most of the time when he loses the line. He just does a little circle and he's back on.
Easy, Diesel. Easy.
Okay, I debated on whether I wanted to show this or not. And I won't bore you with all of it. In fact, I'll probably fast forward through it and see how that goes with the viewers if you've got any feedback about the fast forward. What I don't want to do is bore you to death with 30 minutes of, either straight line tracking or doing circles. And every once in a while, Diesel will do what he's doing here. Basically, he takes me in circle after circle after circle after circle. And I don't know exactly what happened here. He's tracked very, very well, literally in a straight line almost, to this spot. I don't know if the deer is milling around in this corn, milling around in the standing beans, but we have a very difficult time picking up the line. Like I said, I'm going to fast forward through some of this because I don't want to bore you to death, but we go in and out of this corn, into the standing beans, into the corn, out in the standing beans, do circles, back in the corn. A lot of times Diesel will do this right before we find the line to the deer. In other words, almost like 85% of the way through the track, he will do something like this. We keep working up this edge for a little bit, but we're going to get to a point here where Diesel does almost frantic circles trying to find where this deer went. And it takes us literally 10 or 15 minutes of doing these small circles into the standing beans, into the corn, and it gets tiring, but I know what he's doing. In fact, I even tell the hunters here pretty quick is that this is somewhat normal. I don't exactly know what's happening, or I don't exactly know why. In this particular track, I suspect maybe a coyote chase, although that's just a guess on my part. But what happens is here is I'm just being patient with Diesel because I know my dog, and I know that he's actively looking and actively searching for the line. So I'm letting him work. I'm giving him room, I'm giving him space and time to figure this out. Eventually, He will find the correct line in this corn, and he's going to march me right to this deer, but I'm going to fast forward here through this so you're not bored with it.
Come on, Diesel. What are we doing? You did have blood coming down that edge, right? Okay. He got us this far. He's gonna get us the rest of the way.
Deer did something different in here. He turned, backtracked, maybe coyotes. What you're seeing him do here is checks, like he's doing circling left, circling right. Deer did something weird in here. Man, that corn is leaves like right at eye level, and you go through them and you just get, yeah. Something's funky here. I don't know yet what it is yet.
Diesel's finally got this line figured out after literally doing circles in and out of this corn and beans for 15 minutes. He's going to hit this edge, take a left, and he's going to take me up the edge about 100 yards, hard right into the corn, and then he's going to take me to the deer.
This could be coyotes. This could be a coyote chase. When he picks a line out of doing what we're doing and commits to it, it's the correct line most of the time.
Okay, if you're a hunter and you're behind me and you're looking at this behavior with Diesel, that little waddle he's got back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that little hip roll, his tail is tight, small wiggle back and forth, he's not lifting his head, he's on a steady march. I would almost guarantee you that I can be able to turn around and tell you that your deer is close and we're going to find it, because this is the behavior that he displays when that happens.
He's taking me all the way back to the tree line.
Okay, that's what I just said to Evan. I said, I wonder if that deer is taking him all the way back to that tree line.
Easy. Come here, Diesel. Hello, boy, Diesel. Hello, boy. Woo! Hello, boy, Diesel. Come here, Diesel. Come here, Diesel. Come here, Diesel. Sit. Congrats, bud.
Thank you. Holy cow.
How you like that?
Wow.
Still a little loose.
I mean, it came out right.
Can you believe what that deer did?
No. I got on my little Onyx and started looking how far we are already. It wasn't even like I just did a straight line from there. It was almost 800 yards without even real calculating. Crazy. I told Evan, I go, I can't hear him anymore. I go, he's pulling through the corner. I was like, I wonder if that damn deer went all the way back to there. Oh, we would have never found this guy. Holy shit.
Good boy.